Oh, let's see. Hi, Carol. It's yoga time. Sharon, hello. Shannon, good morning. It is a beautiful day. I spent a lot of my time in the garden today and this morning. Some of my dahlias that I planted are starting to show up, so it's just so exciting. It's amazing how much pleasure I get from my garden. And it's like you nourish something and it shows up for you. It's amazing. And plants are so much easier to deal with than humans because humans have emotions. And anyway, so, oh, hi, Rosemary. Nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while, it seems like. So it's really nice to have you back. So does anybody have anything they would like to talk about or any concerns in particular that are going on in your life? So it could be with your physical body or your mental emotional layer, because we're all one unit, mind and body. So I wanted to say that I'm becoming much more active in my sharing of bone health awareness, because it is such a huge issue and it's really my passion to share this awareness in terms of those with the diagnosis of osteoporosis and me understanding what can happen when the bones are broken or not working from my own experience with my hip. So I really am on this mission to share this information. And so with that said, I am much more interactive on social media. So Facebook and Instagram, I'm posting pretty much daily on Instagram, something that's relational to bone health. So to health all over in general is what I'm going to focus on, but really I'm going to specifically target bone health because all of our bones start to degenerate in our 30s, no matter who you are. And then if you have other conditions like stress or any kind of metabolic conditions or diseases, that will accelerate that process. So my real focus is on raising awareness to this and all that we can do. So I have many programs and opportunities to learn more. These classes that you come to on Thursday and then Tuesday through the hospital is another class that I offer. And that, so there's going to be a lot of information. So my social media and my Facebook are the same, Debbie Robinson Wellness. And I'm always posting something on there, some information. So please join those if you haven't already. Debbie Robinson Wellness on Facebook and Instagram. Let me just write that in here. Debbie Robinson. Instagram and Facebook. Perfect. Okay. Hi, Stevie. Nice to have you here. All right, ladies. Well, today I have something really nice planned for us. I think that you will enjoy it. Today I am planning for us to really focus on balance. So I hope that that is good for you. Let's get our props. So go ahead and gather whatever it is you need to have for your practice. Okay. Thought I didn't have my block, but I guess I do. All right. Okay. So the focus for today is on balance and focusing on aspects of what we need in our body that contribute to balance. And then we'll actually challenge ourselves with balance. So doing the poses that are for balance, being in a posture that requires balance is definitely a great way to get that communication, the nervous system to fire up and to be in alignment and communicative. The other aspect of balance is to have the strength in your body and the range of motion in your joints so that that dance of balance can take place. So for today's practice, I'd like you to get a block or something similar, a strap or something similar. So these are traditional yoga props, and you can get something that is comparable to that. A blanket and a mat. Don't always need a mat. And when we do the standing part of the practice, if we are doing anything that requires balance, which we will be doing today, it is better to have something very sticky. And so if you do have socks on when we get to the balance part, that's something you'll want to remove your socks or have socks that have some kind of grip on them. Okay, I see just a couple more people came. I just wanted to see who's here and if there were any questions before I begin. Carolyn, good. Hi. Deborah, good morning. Yes, aren't we all looking forward to that? Jeannie, hi. And then Terry, great. I think you're new to me. Perfect. So welcome. All right. So in case anyone missed what I said, for today's class, we are going to need a block, a strap, and a blanket. And then also when we do the standing part of the practice, having a chair or a wall handy you'll definitely need that for some of you, of course, for those that have balance issues. All right, so we are going to begin by let's come into a seated position. I want us to arrive. So if you can bend your body, please do so. And if you have a block, it's nice to actually come seated on a block. So having your block between your ankle joint and then sitting on the block, this can be a really great way to get some nice spinal alignment. And for those who have knees that don't like to bend, you could put two blocks, one on top of the other, or a blanket or something underneath you. We're going to come to this position so that we actually make this intention of today we are focusing on ourselves, bringing our awareness to this present moment. Very important to begin the practice of yoga. So the word practice with the word yoga is because yoga means connection of all parts of you, the parts of you that think, that feel, that notice and sense, like all of the intricacies of you and your physical body. So we want all of that to come to this place, and especially because today's practice is about balance. So we really want everything to come to this moment, to right here, to right now. So bring yourself into a seated position. This knee flexion and hip flexion, if it's okay for your body. If not, find a crisscross position. Close your eyes. When you close your eyes, your body will maybe communicate to you on whether or not it feels comfortable in that moment. So shift so that you can get to that place. Hands are on your thighs. Awareness goes from outside to inside, from yesterday or tomorrow to today and to this moment and to right now. So this is the opportunity to slow down the mind, bring yourself to present moment awareness. Spine is nice and erect in this position, so it'll allow the lungs to move in all the ranges of motion that they're capable of. Follow your next couple of breaths in your nostrils and feel where the breath goes. Try to be as natural as possible when you do this. And then direct the breath down to the lower ribs, to the belly, towards the pelvis. Take one more breath like this. Bring your awareness to your eyes. Gently allow your eyes to blink themselves open. Let's take your hands down alongside your body, palms are forward. Reach your fingertips down and keep your hands alongside your body. Take your hands, inhale to bring your hands up. Allow your hands to find themselves. And then bring your hands straight down. Take your hands out to the side. Allow your hands to find themselves and bring them straight down. So this actually helps to balance both hemispheres of the brain, bringing yourself to the center where that balance is. Body's always trying to find center. And then one more. Bringing your hands down. We're going to do a breathing technique today that is for balancing both hemispheres of the brain, and it's called alternate nostril breathing. I'll guide you through a couple of rounds of this. This is an introduction to this breath. We'll do a couple of rounds of this, and then you can learn this breath and practice it on your own. Comes in very handy when you feel that you're in a scattered brain place, or for our intention today for the practice, focusing on balance. So this is the hand position that I learned when I was in India, where the pinky and ring finger are together and the thumb's here. The thumb will close off the right nostril. So this is a right hand. It may look like this is my left, this is my right side. The right hand, the thumb touches the right nostril to close it off. And you know there's that round part of the nostril. All you really need to do is touch that round part barely, or right where that round part ends. That bump that's in our nose. What are those parts called? I guess that's the nostril. This is the bridge of the nose. And then these two fingers close off this side. Okay, so the right thumb will close off the right nostril, and the right pinky and ring finger will close off the left nostril. So just try that a little bit. Notice if you have any stickiness in your nostrils and clear it. Sometimes you may need to get a tissue to do some clearing. Traditionally, the breathing practices of pranayama were done after a cleansing routine where you would have cleansed your body, so there would not be really any stickiness here. Go ahead, and that's traditional yoga in a traditional sense. All right, so let's take our hand, and of course, if this hand position doesn't work for you, do whatever hand position you would like to do. So take your left hand on your thigh, palm is down. Let's take the right thumb, close off the right nostril, and begin to breathe in and out through the left nostril. You could close your eyes if you'd like, feel where the breath goes and what the breath does to your body. And of course, if you need to shift your position, straighten the legs and then unbend them and straighten them and get into a different position, whatever you need to do. I'm going to guide you through this breath. We're going to be closing off a nostril, exhaling and inhaling through the opposite, and then closing off that nostril. And I will do the guiding, so just pay attention to my guidance. So let's prepare. Let's take a big exhale and a big inhale. We're going to begin. So exhale through that left nostril. Inhale left nostril. Close off the left nostril. Exhale right nostril. Inhale right nostril. Close off the right nostril. Exhale left nostril. Inhale left nostril. Close off left nostril. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close off right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close off left and exhale right. Inhale right. Close off right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close off left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close off right, exhale left. Continue on your own with your inhale to the left. It doesn't matter if you get confused. Go right back to it. We inhale and exhale through one side, and then we shift to the other. Keep your awareness where the breath enters and leaves the nostril. Finishing the round you're on now. Do 2 more complete rounds through both nostrils. When you finish, keep your eyes closed. Let your right hand go down onto your thigh. Go back to a natural pace breath through both nostrils. Follow the breath in the body. Notice where the breath goes. Bring your awareness to your hands. Take your hands together, rubbing your hands together. Bring the hands to cover the eyes, and then gently blink your eyes open. Noticing how you feel, noticing if there is a relaxation sensation in your body. Let's come on to all fours to take our legs straight. So you can put your blanket underneath your knees if your knees don't like to be on a hard surface. We're bringing some blood flow down to the feet since we had the knee joint and the hip joint in flexion. You could bring your leg back, or you could shake your leg, whatever feels appropriate for you, allowing that flow to go to your legs. We're going to come down onto the floor using the ground to help with postural correction and to help if you had any discomfort during that, holding yourself in that upright position. So let's take our blanket at the top of the mat. When we come down, if we have osteoporosis, making sure we do not flex the spine. There's a lot of people that are unaware of that, so I really like to reiterate that over and over and raise your awareness to that. So come to your side, reach your hand away. We're going to come all the way down onto our back and allow the floor to help support the posture, and use the forces of gravity to also facilitate this. So some gentle, deep opening in our spine and in our shoulder girdle. Keep the knees bent at first and the feet are flat on the floor. Take your elbows and your upper arm bones into the floor. Press them into the floor and lift your rib cage away from the floor so you could slide the shoulder blades closer to the spine
and closer towards each other. So the arms go on the floor, you lift up and you slide your shoulder blades onto the spine, and then place the rib cage back down on the floor, locking in those shoulder blades into the position of the back of the body, which is where they should be, where they should live. And with our lifestyle today, we usually have our shoulder blades sliding towards the side of the body. Lift your head up, tuck your chin down towards your chest, lengthen your neck. Find that nice alignment in the neck area. And then the arms are down alongside your body, the elbows are on the floor. Let's take the hands and allow the hands to move towards the floor. For some of you, you'll be able to get your hands all the way to the floor. For some of you, you may not be anywhere near that. These are rotator cuff muscles and muscles that are attached to the upper arm bone. For a lot of people, it's very challenging to get the hands to touch the floor. So if your hands are hovering, that's okay. Leave them in the hovering place for now. Let gravity assist in stretching some of these muscles. And then press your heart up towards the sky. You may feel muscular action there. Remember, the knees are bent, feet are flat, because the low back will take the brunt of this postural correction we're doing in the spine. So we want it to have more space so that there's not any extra tension or too much tension in the low back. So notice what you notice here. Notice if you feel tension in your body somewhere. Maybe that upper arm bone area, maybe the shoulder blades. Keep the mouth closed and breathe in through the nostrils, breathing to the chest, starting to warm up muscles of posture and alignment, which will translate to balance, communication of balance and of the nervous system. Notice if there's tension behind the back of the neck. Just noticing what you notice. Allow the weight of your bones to settle towards the floor. So let everything be heavy. Stay in a manageable place for the stretch or for any muscular discomfort. Take one more breath. And then you're slowly going to take the hands straight out to the side. Backs of the hands are touching the floor, fingernails are touching the floor. And then I'd like you to start sliding the back of the hand and the fingernails towards your head. So the upper arm bone doesn't move at all. It comes straight off of your body, and you slide your hands a little closer to your head so that you eventually come to a right angle or a 90-degree angle in the elbow. Not all of you will be able to come there. So do go to where you can go to. Feel the heaviness of your rib cage, let it go. The heaviness of the left arm, let it go. And the heaviness of the right arm, let it go. Feet, so the feet are coming directly off of your pelvis. Center of the heels would touch the center of the buttocks. And then lift the left foot off the floor. Pull the left toes towards you and lengthen the left leg all the way down. And let the left leg touch the floor. Right knee is still bent. Notice what you notice here in the low back. See if it feels okay. Bring your awareness to your right foot. Let the right foot come off the floor. Pull the toes towards you, pressing the heel away from you, and slowly lengthen the right leg all the way long. Allow this to settle in your body. Let your left leg be heavy, the right leg be heavy, the pelvis be heavy, rib cage heavy, left arm heavy, right arm heavy, head heavy. Bring your awareness to your head. Begin to move your head side to side. Go slow. Keep your arms in this position. Think of your chin making a rainbow shape from one armpit to the other, as if you were trying to smell your armpit when your head goes as far as it can to the side. Bring your head back to center. Let's take the arms straight ahead. Point the toes towards the ground. Flex the wrists so the heel of the hands are facing in towards each other and the palms are facing towards the wall behind you. Reach long up the inner arms, long in the heel of the hand, and then flex the feet. The toes are coming towards you, so the heels are reaching away from you of the hands and the feet in opposite directions. Really stretch your body glove. Take one more breath. And then let's go ahead and bend the knees. So that's setting the body up in terms of our physiology and our biochemistry. We did it through breath and through bringing our awareness to this moment. The postural alignment there, starting really deep in the body, and then that final body glove stretch. So integrating the physical body, stretching, preparing, and the physiology and biochemistry, because that's where bone density loss happens, is in our physiology. So we want to set ourselves up so that when we create the stimulation we do with all the postures to make the bones or muscles stronger, your body's in a really nice receptive place for that. All right, let's warm up the body here. Take the legs a little wide, not quite as wide as the mat, and you're going to begin with some side-to-side motion where you keep the soles of the feet on the floor. So the knees are moving the most here. That upper leg bone is moving and the tushy stays on the floor. Developing your body awareness is going to be tremendous for you for the rest of your days, to know different aspects of your body, how it works, how it functions, and what you can do to keep it strong and safe and mobile. Bring your legs back to center. Walk your feet off your mat, or you could have just the heels on the mat. You're going to go a little farther this time, and you're going to start to bring a stretch deeper up into your torso, deeper into that hip joint, and even down the legs. So we start to expand the stretch from the hip joint to the knee and from the hip joint up to the low ribs. The next time your knees come to the left, stay there. Allow this to come into your body all the way, and then take your right hand off the floor. Reach your right hand away from you and try to get the right hand as far away from the right knee as possible. So you could push your right knee away from you and flex that left hand, left palm is reaching away from you. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up. Let's find this in the other side. The knees go over to the right. Allow them to writhe. And then flex that left wrist, lengthen that left side body. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's come into our first posture. We're going to strengthen the muscles of posture and alignment and balance. We're going to do that first in our bridge posture. So we're going to do a little bit to warm this up first. So take your feet off the floor one at a time and let the feet be a little bit farther from your body. So when you put your foot down, let it go down as far away. So I don't mean to take it all the way out here. I want your knees to be bent, okay? But the feet will go somewhere if you do this to a neutral place. I want you to be 1 inch farther away from your body than what your body would find, okay? So we're gonna warm up our head, our neck, and the muscles in the back. Now, when you lift your pelvis off the floor, I only want you to lift up to about the lower ribs here. So you're going to take your hands alongside your body, palms face you, the thumbs are up towards the sky. push your feet into the floor. The toes are facing forward. You're going to push your feet into the floor. As you inhale, let the right hand come off the floor. Let the pelvis come off the floor and rotate the head to the left. Feel that when you lifted your pelvis off the floor, you're not lifting up so high that you're lifting all the way up to be above the heart. I only want you to lift the pelvis off the floor a little bit, maybe up to about lower ribs or a little bit higher than lower ribs, okay? Because we're rotating our neck here and I don't want any extra pressure in your neck. And then you're gonna come down. You push your feet into the floor, you lift your pelvis up, you lift your left hand up, and you rotate your head to the right. And then you bring yourself down. Go slow. Let all of the warmth come into the body. Let any creakiness leave the body when you do this. Notice what you notice. Feel, listen, pay attention. Opposite hand, opposite head. Or opposite direction with the head. Unless, of course, you have two heads. Then you would switch heads. Probably feel some heat in the glutes. Very important for balance to have the tushy, the hamstrings, the back of the body nice and strong to help hold you up so that you don't fall forward. Important for the joints, the hip joints, knee joints, supportive of the lower back or the entire spine. Let's do one more each side. And then bring yourself back to center. So hopefully you notice that. You notice the glutes are getting nice and warm for you. So let's push your, bend your elbows, push your hands into the floor, lift up your chest, slide your shoulder blades closer towards each other. And then grab the block, put the block between your knees. And you may need to actually do that upper back adjustment again. Push your arms in, slide the shoulder blades back. Pick the head off the floor, lengthen the head so you have a nice long neck. Walk the feet closer to your body here. And then squeeze the block and allow the low back to press into the floor. Push the low back into the floor. Feel the top edge of the pelvis touching the floor. Arms are bent, palms face each other, fingertips are up towards the sky. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the block, and let's peel the pelvis away from the floor and peel the spine away from the floor. Do not look side to side here. Keep your head straight. Lengthen the back neck. Keep lifting, keep lifting, keep lifting. Pushing your feet into the floor, in the tushy, squeezing the block, your spine away, and then press your heart towards your nose. So you're actually straight adding a back bend into your back. Stay here, deep breaths. If you want to clasp, you could clasp your hands. When you clasp your hands, you cannot have your rib cage resting on your upper arms. So I find that a lot of people are not able to get high enough to truly clasp effectively. So bending the arms, letting the palms face each other, fingertips up towards the sky, using those upper arm bones to help with the weight of the body can be very supportive and safe. Squeeze your block, squeeze your tushy. Push your heart up towards your face. Take one more breath. And then when it's time to come down, I want you to go slow, placing one vertebra at a time onto the floor. So feel one vertebra at a time touching. When you get towards the lower ribs, lift the heels off the floor. Try to place that low back on the floor. You should feel a nice stretch in your body when you do this. Feel your pelvis touch, feel the top of the pelvis. Take the block out to the side and let's roll onto our side. Take your hand on the floor, push yourself up and away, and then bring your blanket
onto the mat. So bring the blanket a little bit closer to the lower edge of your mat. So not necessarily in the midpoint of the mat, but a little bit lower. We want the pelvis to go here on the on this. All right, you're going to grab your block. So the block grabs like this. The elbows stay in alignment with the shoulders. So when you come on the floor, you don't want your elbows to be wider. It's not very supportive. We really want that shoulder girdle to help hold the weight of the upper body up. So let's take the block, bring the block forward. If you don't have a block, it's okay. Have the elbows underneath the shoulders. Let's come forward here. Flip your toes under so your toenails touch the floor. And then lift the low back up towards the sky. Push the lower ribs back towards the spine. Squeeze the block, press the arms into the floor. Toenails touch the floor. Lengthen from the crown of the head to the tailbone. And imagine you're putting on a really tight pair of jeans. Zipper up the jeans from the pubis bone, zipper up all the way to the belly button. So really activate the core here, pushing low ribs and belly up towards that low back to take that round, or not roundness, but that well, that divot, that it's an extension curve in the low back. So try to make that low back either a little bit more flat or add a little flexion. Lengthen out the tailbone, lengthen up the crown of the head, push your arms into the floor, squeeze that block, push away from the floor with your arms, push away from the floor with your knees and your feet. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself all the way down. So that's a plank, a dolphin plank, strengthening the muscles of posture and alignment, which will then fortify balance. Bring yourself back so that your pelvis is on top of the blanket on the floor. And then let's take the hands, fold the hands, take the right hand away from you and place the forehead on the back of the left hand. Your legs lift one up at a time off the floor and roll the leg in the socket so the inner thigh rolls up towards the sky. And when you place that foot down, all 5 toenails touch the floor, including the pinky. Do the same thing with the other leg. Lift it up, roll it in the socket. It's an internally rotated leg, gives a little more space in the back of the body. Right arm is straight, let the big toes touch. Place the forehead on the back of the left hand. Take an exhale. As you inhale, lift the right hand off the floor and the left leg off the floor. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift right hand, left leg. Exhale to lower. Right hand, left leg. And then lower. Last one. Lift the right hand and the left leg, stay here. Be as long as you could be. Let the sole of the left foot point straight up towards the sky. Reach nice and long. And then on your next exhale, lower down. Let's go to the other side. Fold the right hand, put the forehead on the back of the right hand. Take the left hand long. Toenails are touching. Press all 10 toenails into the floor. Exhale to prepare. Inhale, lift the right leg, left arm, and then lower. Right leg, left arm, lower. Inhale to lift. Last one, inhale to lift. Stay here. Take one more breath. And then lower all the way down. Let your forehead touch the floor. Bring your hands back and clasp your hands. So you clasp your hands. See if your palms can touch. For many of you, that may not be a possibility. If that's not the possibility, can you hold on to your wrist? The right hand holds left wrist. Left hand holds the right wrist. Feet are nice and long. Soles of the feet are pointing up towards the sky. Toes are touching. Take an exhale to prepare. Inhale, lift your legs off the floor. Lift your upper body off the floor and come into a locust pose. Strengthening the posterior chain of the body. Supportive for balance, alignment, posture. Breathing deeply. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself all the way down. Turn your head to the right. Let the left ear and the left cheek touch the floor. Let the hands go down alongside the body. The thumbs are touching the body. Palms are up. Walk the feet wide as the mat. If this is a lot of tension in your upper back, you could take the right hand out to the side, palm down. And if that's still too much tension, you could bring the arm into a bent elbow position. So the reason for that, for some of you having a challenge bringing the head like this towards the ear and the cheek, this is upper back and neck muscles, and there may be some tension there. This is rotation of the neck, the cervical spine, and it's important for our body to be able to look, because the eyes, the optic nerve is one of the main contributors to the brain for where you are. So in terms of balance, we really need eyesight. Eyesight's very important when it comes to balance. So having your upper back and neck in a nice mobile range of motion will help towards balance. Take one more breath here, and then tuck the chin down towards the chest. Lift the head up. You're going to turn your head to the left and get the right cheek and right ear to touch the floor. You may need to keep rotating to get that to happen. And then for many of you, this may be a more challenging side. For those of you that are right-handed and right eye dominant, which is the majority of the population. If you need to take your left hand out to the side, palm begins down first, arms away from you. And then if you need to bend the arm even more, bend the elbow and see if that helps. Allow the head to be heavy, allow this relaxation to come into the body. Stretching, upper back, neck, spine. Breathe down to your belly. Take one more breath. Bring an arm up away from you and then roll onto that side of the arm that's up. Cradle the head in that arm. Take the opposite hand on the floor. Spread the fingers as wide as you can. You're going to push away from the floor and not pull yourself up with your head. So pushing really hard into the floor with your hand and your elbow to push yourself away from the floor to bring yourself up to a seated position. So doing a lot of strength so far and stretching that has to do with supporting balance in our body. So we did a dolphin plank. We're going to come into a full plank now. For those of you with wrist issues, I would say to do what you can instead of doing nothing. So don't stop using your wrists, because that could not be a good thing. Use it in the way that you're able to. So go to your edge, whatever's appropriate for you. If you need to roll up the edge of your mat to make this a little more tolerable, you could try that. They sell wedges, these foam wedges that you can put your hand on. That's another thing that some people like to do. Otherwise, if you're going to come into the full expression of the posture, point your fingers forward. Spread your fingers as wide as you can so you have a very wide base. Let's take 1 foot behind you so all 5 toes touch. And then you're going to bring the other leg off so all 5 toes touch. If you need to be in a modification, you could keep the knees on the floor and the lower legs. So find whatever version of plank is appropriate for you and your body. Pushing through the heels, pushing through the crown of the head, and push away from the floor with your hands and your feet. That'll really help to fire up all the muscles that are involved in pushing you away from the floor and really stretching and strengthening that anterior, that front body. Lengthen yourself through your heels, through the tailbone. And here, zippering up the belly. So like a tight pair of jeans, zippering, zippering, zippering up to the belly, reaching out the crown of the head, reaching out the feet. And push away from the floor, push your fingertips into the floor. Take 1 more breath. And then let's bring the knees onto the floor. Take your hands wide. It could be about the distance of your mat, not bending your spine at all, keeping your tushy in the air. You're going to take your hands wide. You may even need to go a little wider and see if you can bring your forehead towards or on the floor so that the head comes between the arms. Shoulder blades are on the back of the body, helping to support the spine. And let your pelvis feel like it's moving back. So you feel a nice stretch, maybe underneath the armpits, maybe on the back. Lengthen your spine. Crown of the head touches the floor if it can. Lengthen your spine here from the crown to the tailbone. Take 1 more breath. And then bring yourself up. So that's a good position. That's called puppy dog. And the thing about osteoporosis is we are warned not to forward fold, yet our entire day requires forward movements. So when we do that puppy dog pose, that's a great way for you to stretch and to bend the joints that we need to, the hips and the knees, and keep the spine in a nice, so if you'll see my spine here is nice and linear. I'm not in a child's pose, which would require my pelvis to touch my heels and my spine to come into a round position. This is a child's pose. And this is something that I would not recommend if you have osteoporosis. The puppy dog posture is the alternative to that. And it feels great, and it helps to stretch postural muscles of the upper trunk and lengthen the spine and bring space in between the vertebra, which is where the nervous system travels from the brain down the central nervous system and then branches out to the periphery to the hands and the feet. So really important to keep all of that open. Okay, let's balance here on our tailbone. So balancing at the base of the spine, come onto your tushy, onto the mat, bring yourself up, hold on to the backs of your thighs. So we did a lot of core work here. The intention for this is more about the balance. So go side to side and then maybe a little front back. So let your toes touch, then bring your toes off. Try to challenge yourself by pushing yourself back a little bit more so that your core has to turn on and grip, especially the psoas, which is your filet mignon, your deep loin hip flexor muscle. And just a little challenge here. And then bring yourself up, see if you could balance on your tailbone, holding on or not. And then go ahead and come down. All right, let's come on to, we're gonna come up, but I'd like you to come up through down dog and plank. I'm gonna do 3 of these. This is a great way to keep the upper body strong too. Take your hands wide, take your knees wide. Flip your toes under. Push your body back using that same analogy we use for the puppy dog pose that we just came out of. You're going to push your tushy in the air. The spine stays nice and long.
The knees are bent. And then if you can, try to press one heel towards the floor at a time. Keep your head looking forward, one heel at a time. And let it be the outer edge of the heel where the pinky toe side of the foot is. And then press both feet towards the floor. The knees can be bent or you can move moving towards straight. And then inhale to come forward into your plank. Exhale, push your belly button up. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, push your belly up. In the tushy up. One more. Come forward. Let the bend happen at your hip joint. Hips bend, saves the back. Bend your knees, keep your head forward. Walk your hands back slowly. Don't try to come up really fast, even if you want to come up, and this is a lot of work. All that work is bone strengthening and muscle strengthening, and we need that. Feet are on the floor, look forward. Take your hands one at a time here and look forward. The bones and the muscles start to degenerate in our 30s. We need to go against that. Push your feet into the floor and bring yourself slowly, slowly, slowly to a standing position. All right. Let's take your props off to the side. And you may need a chair. So especially if balance is an issue for you. The other thing that's good is to have a wall nearby. So to have a wall to practice is also a really great thing. So go ahead and have your chair nearby. Let's come onto the feet. Let's start to warm up our feet. So take your toes to touch the floor. So you're flipping your toes under and the top of the foot is touching the floor. See what you can experience here. Notice what you notice with your foot. Wiggle your foot back and forth. So let it go back and forth, back and forth. And then let's take the other foot back. So chair or no chair, depending on what you need. If you want to try with no chair, if you want to try to move away from touching your chair or wall, if you have your hands on your waist, this will bring the shoulder blades onto the back of the body. So hands on the waist, pushing your elbows back, narrowing your chest area is going to bring the shoulder blades back, and they're supportive of posture. Flip your toes under and move them side to side, and then come onto the edge of your foot. So you're turning your foot so you're on that pinky toe edge, really stretching that ankle joint. A lot of communication for balance takes place over that ankle joint. So feel that. And also the more play you have in joints, the more your joints are able to dance and play, the less likely you are to get a fracture in that area. So we get fractures if we extend beyond the range of motion of a joint. So, you know, when you walk, and then you go like that. Well, you want more play in your joints because you don't want your muscles to be pulling on the bones so hard that they fracture or crack the bones. So that's one of the aspects of what happens with a fracture. So it's whatever force is applied to the bones, can they handle it or not? So the force of the ligaments or the tendons pulling on them, or of course a force in a bone if the force is lower down, like sometimes happens with, you know, wherever a break occurs, wherever a fracture occurs. But so quite often they're near the end parts where it's the muscles that are on them that pull on them. So this stretching is going to help you keep that play or dance in the joints. Let's bend the toes. Important to bend the toes because this is where balance takes. You need your toes for balance. So let's do one foot lifts up, then the other. If you want to practice balance a little bit more, put your hands on your waist as you do this. Look forward. Remember I mentioned about the optic nerve supplying the brain. So if you look forward and you pick a focal point, that's actually another amazing thing to do for balance, is to look at something straight ahead. And if it's something that moves, look at the center of the movement. Let's see if you can bring your feet onto the floor, all 5 toes pointing forward, and then lift yourself up, grab the floor with your toes as you come up. So really grab the floor with the toes.
looking straight ahead at something that doesn't move, even though you're rising. Arms can be on your waist, shoulder blades helping to support you in this. And then I'd like you to come on high heels and walk around in high heels. So walk around on all 5 toes on both feet. Heels are off the floor. Walk around. And then come back to center. We're going to do a tightrope. So let's take the feet, take the left foot in back, take the right foot exactly in front of the left foot. So right foot is in front and you're in alignment. You don't have your feet out to the side. You don't have the back foot out to the side. Your feet are in this total alignment, like you're on a line. Put left foot at the back, right foot in front. Hands are on your waist. Bring your body weight forward. A little bit more stable to be in that forward leg in this position. And then I want you to bring yourself back. Left foot is at the back. Bring your weight onto the left foot. And then bring your awareness down to your left foot. Notice what's happening. You could come onto the right tippy toes if you'd like. Let that right big toe touch, or bring that right foot completely off the floor and balance on this left foot. Notice the foot moving. Notice the ankle joint. Keep your legs straight, left leg straight. And then bend the left knee a little bit. And notice how the left knee starts to dance. You've got the foot, the ankle, and the knee communicating where you are in space. Bring your right foot onto the floor. Let's switch sides. Take the right foot at the back. Take the left foot exactly in front. Bring your body weight forward. Bring your body weight back. Bring it forward. Stay here. Notice how solid that feels. And then bring your body weight back onto your right foot. Hands around the waist. Lift your heart. If you'd like to come onto left tippy toes, see how that feels for you. If you'd like to lift left foot off, see how that feels. Notice the dance of the foot, the dance of the ankle, knee is straight, and then bend the knee. And notice the dance that comes into the knee. And then go ahead and release. Take your legs, shake your legs. A little bit about walking, because this becomes important as well. So we know that bones don't break just because they're fragile, they break because we fall. So I'd like to talk about walking. I'd like you to come to the back of your mat. I'd like to do a little bit with gait analysis, the proper gait of the foot. So you can take your chair off, or for those of you that feel precarious with balance, you could have your chair nearby so that when you practice walking, you have something to hold on to. Always, always making sure you're safe, okay? Come to the back of your mat, take your left heel forward, let the pinky toe edge of the left foot touch the floor, pinky toe edge. And then imagine you're spreading soft peanut butter across toast, gluten-free toast, of course. Spread the peanut butter across the top of the foot. Let the foot touch the floor. Bring your body weight onto that left foot. Bend the right toes, bend the right knee. Feel that. And then bring your right heel forward. Pinky toe edge. Spread your peanut butter. Load the right foot. Bend the left toes. Make sure the toes bend. Left heel, pinky toe edge, peanut butter, load, bend the opposite toes, heel, pinky toe edge, peanut butter, bend toes. Walk around a little bit slowly like this. Keep your head up. Really articulate your foot. We need our feet for communication, and we need to articulate them and not shuffle. And that's what ends up happening. The more cautious you get with balance, the less you articulate all the joints in the feet. And then it's a use it or lose it proposition, and we lose our ability. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. We stop doing this, this makes this worse. Heel, pinky toe edge, peanut butter. And then bring yourself back to center. Bring yourself here. Collapsed arches is called pronation. If you flatten your feet, try to push your arches into the floor. Push your arches into the floor. Notice the kneecaps start to go in towards each other. And then feel this in your body with that. Push your arches into the floor. Just feel what you feel here in your body, forward and back. Do a little bit of challenge in everything above the feet. And then bring yourself back up. Do the opposite. Grab the floor with the feet, push the toes in, lift the arches up off the ground. See if you could feel that coming up here and lifting throughout your body. See if you could feel what that feels like in the body. And then with that lift, so push your toe edges into the floor like crazy. Grab the floor with the toes, pinky toe edges is into the floor. And then from here, move your body and feel if that feels a little bit more stabilizing, a little more solid. And then go ahead and come out. Feet are huge players when it comes to balance. All right, let's come into a couple of postures and challenge this. So bring your feet close together, maybe about 4 inches apart. Take your hands onto your waist, press your elbows back, lower your shoulders, lengthen the back of your neck. Push your body weight over to your left foot. Go onto your left foot. And then come onto your right tippy toes. Move your right knee to the side. Pick your right knee up, your right foot up, and put your right foot in between the right knee and the right ankle. Grab the floor with your foot. Push your left pinky toe edge into the floor. Grab the floor with the toes. Push that foot into the floor. Keep your legs straight at first. Elbows are back. This is tree pose. If you want to bring your arms out to the side, you could do that. If you'd like to challenge yourself, begin to close your eyes a little. If you really want to challenge yourself, close your eyes all the way. I was talking about the optic nerve and how important eyesight is to balance. Take one more breath and then bring yourself out. So I have very strong balance, and I'll tell you that it does it for me. That was my right leg. I was trying to mirror you guys. All right, now we're going to go to the right side, probably a little bit stronger for most of you. Let's take your hands, not all, but most. Take your hands, or many, hands on your waist. Nice long neck, so no shoulder earrings here, no shrugging. Let that tension leave the upper back and push your body weight onto your right foot. Come onto your left tippy toes. Left knee out to the side and bring that left foot up in between the ankle and the knee. And then activate the floor. Activate that communication with the floor using the foot to grab the floor. Press that pinky toe edge into the floor. Again, here, if you'd like, you could bring your hands off, or you could bring yourself into a place of challenge with the eyes. So at first you can minimize your gaze or try to close one eye. If you do try to close one eye, I'll tell you that most of you are right eye dominant because the world's population, 2/3 are right-handed, right-sided, right eye dominant. And then you could explore the other side, the other eye. So these are, oh my gosh. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out. So I have to say, that's actually the first time I've ever taught that. And I used to teach a balance class before in the pre-pandemic era. And I used to teach a balance class, and I would always talk about eye dominance because I think it's such a huge player in balance. And so right now, that was really intriguing to do balance with one eye versus the other. So more about that in other classes, or maybe I'll make a special video about balance and that. Okay, let's do some postures to challenge ourselves. So we did the tree pose. Let's do a warrior 3. So you're going to take the chair in front of you. You're going to have your feet be about hip distance, which means the big toes are only about 4 inches apart. Let's begin with the hands on the waist. Let's begin with the left leg. So grab the floor with the left leg, slide the right foot back so that the right big toe touches the floor. And then you're going to bend forward, lifting the right leg, bending at the hip. Keep your face forward. The chair is there if you need to put a hand on the chair to come into more of an angle. If you need to put both hands on the chair, put both hands on the chair, or you could come down a little lower if you want to come into a deeper bend in your hip. Grab the floor with the hip. If you would like to, you could take the opposite hand off, or you could take both hands off if that's something you have available in your practice. Warrior 3. Nice long spine, reaching out the hand, out the foot. Any height off of the floor, or even if it doesn't come off of the floor, just loading up that left leg in flexion is important here, strengthening the muscles of flexion in that left side body. Take one more breath. And then bend the standing leg to come out. Let's come to the other side. Feet are 4 inches apart. Hands can be on the waist. Let's slide, so it's the right foot forward now. Take the left foot back, toes touch. However high you lift off is appropriate for you. Whatever's appropriate for you is perfect. There's no right way. Grab the floor with the right foot and then flex at that hip joint. Keep the chest nice and lifted. The head is lifted. Come as far into your flexion as you can in that hip joint. If you want to put the opposite hand on the chair, you can. Or down low. If you want to bring opposite arm off to whatever that foot is, or for those of you that want to bring both off, you can. Do whatever's appropriate for your body. There's no prizes given out here. You do what's appropriate. Self up. Lots of hip joint stimulation. All right, let's go to the last off of the day, which is twisted triangle, and it's a pretty big one. So I'd like us to do it like this, where the chair faces the wall, and you have the back of the chair facing away from you. You're going to bring a leg forward that's near the back of the chair. So the back of the chair, that leg comes forward, and your toes point forward. So the back of the chair is here, that leg is forward, hands are on the waist. Push your feet into the floor, get long in your spine, and then bend at your hip joint. Bend at your hip joint to come forward. And then bring your hand onto the chair, so the opposite arm. So you're twisting over that front leg. And you're going to lift your shoulder, coming into a position where you're twisting. So push your feet into the floor, lengthen your spine, and then turn your heart towards that front leg side. If you want to take your hand off, you can. Or you can put your hand on the chair to get a little bit more rotation. Strengthening the hip joint, strengthening the spine. This is a pretty big bone stimulating posture. Push your feet into the floor, get tall, rotate, rotate, rotate. Take one more breath. To come out of this, to take the tension out, you bend the front leg, keep your head up, and bring yourself all the way up. And then take the chair to the opposite side. And the other leg is about 2. Toes are pointing forward. It's like the distance, hip distance with your legs, unless it's really challenging balance-wise and you go a little wider with that stance. Push your feet into the floor, hands are on your waist. Lengthen your heart, lengthen your spine, bending at the hip joint. And then you bring that opposite arm across the body. So the opposite arm to the leg that's in the front. Push your feet into the floor. With that, that comes up into your pelvis, and then find that Lengthen the body, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Twisted triangle. So this is a pretty strong balance posture. The chair like this, a little bit more secure, because for those of you that really need it, you could take your hand here on the back of the chair. So you're really supporting the front of your body and doing all of this rotation, giving a lot of stimulation to the hip, to the spine. Let's take one more breath. And then to come out, you bend the front leg. You keep your face forward and up, and then bring yourself out. Okay. Shake yourself. Shake everything. So we'll go down onto the floor to do the last posture, which is the Shavasana, to allow the integration of everything that we did today in the body, to let it settle and to let the mind settle, to go back to a place of grounding your mental energy. The ending of the practice is that last final posture of Shavasana. So gather whatever you need, a blanket, maybe a bolster underneath your knees, or you can put your legs up the wall, and go ahead and we'll meet back down here on the ground. Let's bring yourself into whatever is the comfortable position for you to let go, let everything come into your body, let everything settle. For this posture, focus on the breath. Stay with the breath and just be here right now. Bringing your awareness to the breath, begin to lengthen your breath, bringing it deeper towards the belly. Begin to bring movement into your fingers, into your toes. Rolling your ankles and your wrists. And then bending your knees, draw your knees into your chest, rocking side to side. Coming onto your side and then pushing yourself up into a seated position. Try to stay in a place with the eyes closed so we can close our practice. Bringing your hands together, the thumbs touch the sternum bone, the spine is nice and long. Feel the tailbone pressing towards the ground, get nice and tall in your spine, and then lengthen the back of the spine as you slightly tuck the chin down towards the chest. We're going to close the practice with sound. We're going to go through the ah, oo, a, u or o, and m sounds, bringing that sound from all parts of the lungs and all parts of the mouth. Let's take a deep breath all the way down to the belly. Bowing to each other. Namaste. Namaste. So today's practice focused on many aspects of balance, whether that's the strength aspect of balance, the alignment, the joint coordination that's necessary for balance, the body tissues keeping everything open and stretched for range of motion, and then this raised awareness piece to notice the dancing that takes place and the need for dance and play in our joints in order to make sure that we have balance, maintain balance, and understanding how important that is for our body so that we minimize our risk of fracturing a bone or other injuries in our body. So thank you so much. And these are practices that you hopefully take off of your mat and into your life every day. So I realized that I usually, quite often, I don't get to that strap because, the strap postures are the forward folded leg stretches. and I don't always get to those. The other thing I realized is that I mostly work in between the 8 to 11 postures per class. We did 8 today. And that's usually what happens is we're in about that. So let me see. So Deborah would love to hear about how this experience was for you, because I think this was your first time, right? Oh no, Terry. Great. Carolyn, if you're still playing tennis, that's good for tennis, to learn all this and to have this in your body. Good, Carol. I'm glad you liked it. Jeannie, you're welcome. Great. Yes, added a little bit more stuff today with all of that balance. So remember that heel, pinky toe edge, spread the peanut butter, bend the back toes, right? That's really important. So I want you to practice that in your house. I want you to walk around on high heels, air heels, heels in the air. All of this to strengthen the feet. We need strong feet for strong balance, which is going to prevent falling, which is going to prevent fractures, which is going to be like, okay, osteoporosis, bam, take that. You're not going to do anything to me. Sharon, you're welcome. Shannon, you're welcome. Oh, good. Yes, Carolyn, this will be really helpful for you for supporting your knee, right? I believe you have your knee, so this will be helpful. And Anna, hello. Okay, yeah, isn't it crazy, Anna? Bam, it just happens like that. Use it or lose it. For me, I notice how I feel so strong right now because I've been doing a lot of strength work. And I know you guys might not have noticed this. Well, maybe you did. I don't know. But because I have a hip replacement, I really noticed today the lack of strength in my hip replacement when I go into flexion and I have to support my body. So I was like, whoa, I better start working on that. Start doing that one every day. But yeah, it doesn't take much to use it or lose it. So got to keep using it. So please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like this if you like this. Instagram, Debbie Robinson Wellness. Facebook is also Debbie Robinson Wellness. I'm going to post something almost every day, if not every day, that's related to bone health. Some of these tools, like things we just did today, maybe the air heels. I'm thinking, ooh, I've got to do air heels. I'm thinking of all that. So we got to take care of our bones every single day. That's what it is. We have to take care of our bones every single day with little movements. I like to say small habits for a big change to a better you. And that is small, tiny little things we do every day. And then bam, they all add up to this big thing, right? So thank you so much for joining me. You're welcome, Stevie. Thank you for joining me, ladies and boys. If you're out there, Steve, if you're out there, Lee might be out there, Angie and Dan. So just knowing who comes and doesn't get to, or, oh, Jerry may be there. Kathy, I just said you and there you are. See, I was thinking of you. All right, everyone, have a beautiful day and I will see you when I see you. All right, bye.